We back at it once again this week, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the podcast. Be sure to always check us out online, alwaysreadyonline.com. Catch us, watch us, listen to us, subscribe below, click it, follow us, all the above.
We up to 14 subscribers now. So somebody listened last week. Don't be selfish. Just hit the subscribe button. If you're listening online right now, just look at the link and share it with somebody, and make sure when you send it to them, you say, hey man, make sure you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. You got options. That's all I got to say about that.
Why don't you think people subscribe?
It's an extra step. I don't think people understand that when you subscribe. Well, here's the thing. You know how you get all the emails and you're like, man, how do I get my email address? When you subscribe, you keep getting notifications every time we do something. So it's just like another thing.
Selfish. I think people just take the information and then they don't care.
I don't know, man. We just got to figure this thing out.
I do it all the time.
It's the algorithm.
I do it all the time.
What?
I don't subscribe to nothing.
Yeah.
But subscribe to us. Let's go.
That's why they don't subscribe to us, man. The energy coming back to us. I've been wondering this whole time. Man.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
We went for, what we do? 4 miles, total of 4?
Got about 4.5. I got about 4.5 miles in.
4.37 miles of cardiovascular activity not too long ago. It's pretty good.
You was, here's the deal. This is how I know you took advantage of the situation. That's how I know you took advantage of the situation. Because you waited till you got real nice and lathered up, got your pee hot, you know what I mean? You was glistening. and then you decided to take off your shirt. Then you decided to take off your shirt.
I did.
You know what I'm saying?
I did.
And now.
It was 3 miles in, though.
And now, we can't go a half a mile without, you know what I mean, getting attacked by paparazzi.
Man. First of all, I was getting hot. So I could feel my skin burning on my arms and not my chest and back. So I knew I was going to get a farmer's tan. Then I looked over to my right.
Get a farmer's tan.
You know, when it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I still got this tan, man, from football. Like,
bro, that's not from football.
It is from football, man. Not. This is my jersey.
Wait a minute. So 2 things is happening.
This is my jersey.
2 things is happening.
This is like it's like a permanent.
2 things is happening right now. We talking about fitness, and you decide to flex and show your tricep.
I wouldn't necessarily call that flexing, man. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get back into it. But all I'm trying to tell you is,
make sure you tell everybody listening or watching that when we was running, you started off like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take my shirt off real quick and just get it out the way real quick.
I did.
Yeah.
But I had on a tank top. You took your entire shirt off. Well, which is fine. Which is fine. I just wasn't expecting it.
Hey man.
I wasn't expecting it. And
you know what made me feel good?
What?
My waves are up. That's what made me feel good.
Your waves?
My waves. So before,
you ain't talking about your hair.
Nah. Nah.
Them waves.
They ain't coming. No, my waves and my beard though coming in.
Negative.
They're curling a different way now. But my waves are up. So when I'm running, usually when I'm running, I always wave at people. So, man, I keep slipping in this chair, man. Happens every week. I don't know if y'all know that. Keep sliding every week. So I adjust. Hold on, let me get back right. All right, so I got to stay like this the whole thing, or I'm going to slide out the chair. So when I run, though, about 60% of the people wave back at me. Now, most of the time I'm running.
Now, let me ask you, are you expecting a wave back when you run?
No, if we make eye contact and I throw my hand up like this, I'm either about to slap you or I'm waving. So I'm not going to slap you. So you see my hand and I do it far enough away where you can see it.
So you exerting way too much energy.
No, I'm just trying to be friendly.
So
first of all, listen, to me and you, like, we normal sized people. But bro, like, I'm 265, man, and you jogging around and it's just the path, it's a sidewalk. You got to show that you We don't want you. No problem. I'm good. We happy. We good. We friends.
I wave too, but I'm not like. First of all, I'm definitely not up here with it. Like you be lucky. I just be like.
Nah.
I just
you gotta let them know.
You was waving. You was waving, and saying good morning. You was trying to have like a full conversation to people passing us going the opposite way.
Man, it's psychology? Something to do with the mind. Yeah. This is what it is, man. So now I think it's different because I was saying my waves are up. So 60% of the time people will wave back. Most of the time it's white people, but 60%, you know what I mean? The other 40%, I don't know. I mean, the black people always wave. We say what's up. We stop and dap each other up, but I keep running. But the white people, it would be 60% of the time.
Okay.
But now the waves are up.
Because you had your shirt off.
Nah.
No.
Okay. I tried to say it like you say. You know how you talk?
No.
The waves are up.
Oh, you gotta emphasize.
Yeah. That's not emphasizing. That's just
inflection. You know what I mean? You gotta give them a little. Okay.
So anyway, the waves are up.
All right.
So the waves are up from 60% to about 90%. So when we was running, I mean, pretty much bullseye. Big wave, little wave, deuce, black fish. No matter what,
you was getting a response back.
They was even yelling from behind us, like, I'm on your left. Like, I don't know if they would have did that 2 weeks ago. So my waves are up 90%. So they're waving back to me. So now I'm more inclined to do things because I'm more confident.
Gotcha.
So I feel like it's inclusive now. Gotcha. So if I take my shirt off, it's not like a big deal no more. So I can show tats and run and just big burly black dude running up the street and it's all love.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's all good.
It's a good situation.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, you know what? On some real, man, we have been getting after. I know we've been talking a lot about working out and, you know, of course, through the whole COVID and shutdown and, you know, gyms not open. You back at the gym. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I'm back at the gym. I encourage you to get out and do something. You know, if it's running, nice outside now, get out and run, walk, get some exercise in. I tell you what, I've been going to, so now that I got back, I go to a couple different gyms. I got my normal gym that I go to, and I just go and I get my lift, and that's kind of like on my own time. It's a 24-hour gym. I can get in whatever, and it's cool. And I've been going there for years. But recently, I had to up my game up a little bit. Like I needed a little bit of accountability. You know what I mean? And so went to, I now attend a gym that has some group fitness, you know, classes and things of that nature. And in fact, it's you know, one of our old strength coaches at Ohio State, man. Shout out E. Lichter. What's happening, E?
Man, shout out to E. Lichter and Cardale Jones.
Yeah.
+2 University, baby.
They done partnered up, man, and opened up +2 University. So you go back and like you get that competitive, you know, juices flowing, man. You know what I mean? The competition going. But this is that level of accountability. Like, so, you know, you got to reserve like the day before, you know, a couple days before, hey, I'm coming. And so
but they fancy, they got that technology.
Yeah, they got that tech. And so even though nothing gonna happen to me if I don't come, I feel like, you know, I said it, I put my stamp on there, I'm coming. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, when it's raining outside and I ain't get no sleep because my, you know, 4-5-month-old son is up. Is he 4 months or 5 months? He's 5 months. I'm like, I had to think about it. But I'm like, this is on a normal day, you be like, nah, I'm cool. I ain't working out today. But that level of accountability, take it to that next level, man. I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to the next cycle. What you there, Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
I'm there a few days a week.
I'm going.
That's on record?
Either Wednesday or Friday.
That's on record?
Yes, it's on record.
That's on wax?
Accountability.
That's on wax?
For the 14 subscribers.
I say it's on wax because I got my, you know what I mean, got my bandana on today, so.
Hey, you know what they said on Friday?
What?
I don't know. Remember when
what?
The movie. When Ice Cube's sister walked up and she had on the bandana. He was like, man, what you got on your head? And she was like, what? Like, that bandana. She's like, oh, that ain't nothing. That's just. She's like, all right, don't get homeboy messed up. Better be careful, man. Red shoes.
Get the bandana, man.
All right, man. I'm just saying.
It match. You know what I mean? I was feeling freaky today, man. You know what I mean?
That's a problem.
Well, depends on how you take it. It's feeling freaky, baby. Silence is not an option. You know what I mean? We wearing our statement shirts.
I like that.
I know you like
it.
it.
Hey, you know what? We got 14 subscribers, but we up to like 200 plus T-shirts that we sold so far. Supporting the cause, man. That's good stuff.
Silence is not an option, man. DrivenTees.org. Go get you one. So, you know what I mean? I'm feeling like, you know what I mean? I've got the bandana. Silence is not an option. I'm just trying to make a statement, man. I'm channeling. I should have turned it around so I could have got my Tupac game popping. But
you know what I was thinking, since we had the shirts made, and obviously we made them in response to and support of everything that's going on with the Black Lives Matter movement and just social injustice and equality. But the message of silence is not an option is like good across the board. Like, you know, when that alarm go off, that alarm clock is loud, bro, but you make a louder noise when you go in and work out. It's good. You're making a statement. It's good, man.
I like how you tie that together.
No, I mean, that's really, you know what I mean? Like, you make a statement. You know what I mean? Like, you could, you know, like, I'm about to go do something. That's what I'm about to do. It's good.
Sometimes the worst thing you can do is do nothing or say nothing. Sometimes it's the worst thing you can do.
Winner's manual.
You like that?
It's all right, man. You know what was interesting when we was running is we got to a point. This is what I like about accountability and working out. This is why y'all need to get out and make sure you work out, do something. Get an accountability partner. Because we went 2 miles. Now, that's a lot of running for me. 2 miles, I mean, I'm good at like a mile
Me too.
and a half.
Me too.
But 2 miles, you know, some people, I ran 6 miles a day. For what? That's just way too much time. Even if you run at 8-minute miles apiece, that's like 40 miles, 40 minutes, plus warm-up time, plus drive time to get to the place, plus drive time back home, plus water break, plus stretching. That's like 2 hours of time. Like, that's just a lot of time. And that's only on 6 miles, not to mention the people that run 10 miles. And that's okay if you do. That's just way too much. Like, my brain, I'm just thinking about way too much, man. Like, I'm running, literally people, like, this dude was running. I'm trying to compete with people that I shouldn't. Dude on the outside lane 8. I'm on lane 1. You know, he run past me all fast, and then I got to feel like I got to compete with this dude I don't even know. And then I think I'm running faster than him, and I get by him, and I'm sprinting, and I look back, he done walked off the track. He done. I'm still competing against this dude that's not there. It's just too much. But anyway, so we went 2 miles, we walked 1, and headed into the home stretch. You're like, all right, let's go again. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. So we started running for about 1/4 of a mile, and it's an incline, of which I knew was an incline. You said it wasn't an incline, but it was an incline. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to just go ahead and walk this incline. And you said something key. You was like, you know what? Nah, man, let's stop playing. Let's go ahead and run it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
And we did it. And then at the end, though, you was like, I felt
like, that was an incline.
But no, so at that moment, if I had been by myself.
Oh, yeah, you'd have definitely walked.
I would have stopped, and I would have walked until I got to the straightaway. But just having you just say, all right, man.
First of all, you'd have been by yourself. You probably wouldn't have had your shirt off. I mean, I think I brought that, you know what I mean?
50,
I think I brought that out of you, man.
50,
you know what I mean? Like, just that competition, you wanted to get after it. You probably was feeling freaky that day.
Nah. Not running next to you, I would.
Easy money.
Felt myself sliding in my chair again. Sit back up. So my point is, in saying all that, is we got it on one of our signs up above our heads. It says greatness demands a duo. And it's the whole we're better together situation where no matter what you do, man, like you'll go further if you got people that's, you know, pushing you and holding you accountable. I think that's important, man. I think it gets missed a lot where everybody, quote unquote, self-made and want to get after it. But 9 times out of 10, it's somebody doing exactly what you're doing. And you know what I mean? You could just humble yourself and partner up. You know, you can go a lot further, man. So I appreciate you not making me walk up the incline, man.
My man.
I appreciate it,
My
man.
man. Get out there. What we doing this week? So you say you in the gym?
Yeah, I'm not running again because my calves was crazy. Like, I was salty at you the next day, though. Oh, I did. I woke up like, man, this dude had me. Because I would have probably did 1.5 miles. Yeah. I did 4. It was good, though. So we mentioned the silence is not an option, T in that piece. But the conversation needs to 1,000% continue. What I'm seeing right now is overload and fatigue. 2 weeks, 3 weeks running. All right, so we're talking the end of May. Was it May 25th, I believe? Mm-hmm. So we're almost a month since George Floyd was killed. and things are starting to slow down a little bit. Now, from a boots on the ground perspective, it's still people doing stuff, still things going on, still peaceful protests, still organizations trying to figure out the best way to be a part of the solution. On a national scale, the media has shifted. Mm-hmm. So now coronavirus is all of a sudden picking back up. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. All I'm saying is it went away and it came back right in the thick of things. And so coronavirus is popping back up, Florida, Texas, Arizona being high zones. And so the national media, from a conversation standpoint, they ain't covering the peaceful protests and doing all that. So that's dying down. And people, I believe, and feel like, and have seen posts of just being overwhelmed. Like, man, they taking down statues. All right, we did away with the Confederate flag and NASCAR. All right, we doing this, we doing that. All right, so when can we just get back to normal? Mm-hmm. And so we said this 3 months ago, like, there is not a normal anymore, right? There's difference the way we interact in restaurants and in public and all that as we work through COVID still. But now it's not going to be normal in regards to, racial issues and equality. Like, it's just not going to be normal anymore, because it has to be a new way of living. So I guess I'm saying all that to say that how do you see, or what do you think people should be doing, man, to keep the conversation going? Like, is it okay to feel fatigued? Like, should we just shut it down? Or like, is it something that should be in the forefront of the conversation? And how long do we need to keep talking about? And before you like, man, all right.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, I think these conversations will continue to go on for a very long time. To your point, will it start to die down some? Will the numbers start to diminish a little bit? Absolutely, right? There's going to be a select few that's going to kind of carry the torch, continue to carry the torch. Now, that group of whom and how many, I don't know, but whoever continues to, be the voice, they continue to need support behind them. You know what I mean? And that comes in the form of finances and structure and stability, like, right? I mean, like, they need that to continue on, carrying on this message and fighting a good fight. With that said, though, a lot has happened. A lot of change has come. And so to some, people say, okay, I see some changes and I'm good and I feel good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To others, change is not enough. I mean, I was hearing some people talking about reparations, and it's just like, to your point, like, okay, what should we expect? And we don't know. But I think we can all agree that awareness has been brought. Mm-hmm. Some changes happen. And for some people, that's good. Mm-hmm. That's enough. For other people, it's not enough. So you're going to automatically lose a portion of folks just because they're like, okay, we stepped in the right direction. I was loud. I was, what I mean, I felt good, and something happened, and so now I don't have to necessarily be on the front lines and just continue to yell, because it's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? Is protesting, even peaceful protesting itself, not going to get the job done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That'll bring that awareness, that'll get that initial coverage, right. But a lot of this stuff is going to continue to happen behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot less coverage, and you're going to see those numbers die out, but the conversation has to continue to happen. And I've seen that, and we've seen that, even in large companies, like, just recently, right? And, Juneteenth. In the snap of a finger now, everybody's recognizing Juneteenth. Right. Oh, we're shutting down. Mm-hmm. It's a national holiday. Holiday in certain cities are elected it as a holiday. They're getting paid time off. Mm-hmm. Literally, like, within a month, have shifted, been able to change policy and practices and put things into place. And it starts to, like, almost question, like, why couldn't this have happened years ago? If it was that, I'm not saying it was easy, but for it to happen that fast, right, that quick and that swift, why did it take all of this for some of those things to happen? Yeah.
That's a good question, man. And it just brings, like, it's one of those things where, is it a fear-driven thing, or is it just the norm? Like, this is just what we do? So many things are changing so fast. It's like, was it just because I've heard the conversation and I've gotten text messages that have literally said, I just had no idea what you go through as a black man. Like, I just didn't know. And so, like, is it like I just was unaware and I didn't know? Or is it I did know, but this is just how we do things? Mm-hmm. Or is it a combination of both? Because so many things have changed really, really fast.
Right.
To where it's like, yo, let's change this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And so even like Band-Aids, creating multiple shades of Band-Aid colors. Like, if you're in a situation where, you know, like, I mean, I would imagine you know your demographic on consumers, but you get cut, you put a Band-Aid on your finger. And so they're like, no, we got different shades now. We're going all in. Well, like, what, and from a marketing perspective, or like, why wouldn't you do that ahead of time? So the question is, like, you know, like, not saying that, I mean, I know motives matter. I'm not trying to say that the stuff people are doing are just to do it. But it's just like, do you think it's more of a, just wasn't aware? Or if it just was, we didn't feel it was important enough to do?
Yeah.
Because if you look at it that way, it's like, man, you really just trying to keep a certain group down.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination. If you watch this a few weeks ago and you were lucky to tap into our trainings, which you should do every week on Thursday evenings, we take a deeper dive into conversations like this, and we go into some deeper trainings. And a part of that, we talked about kind of the 3 U's, the unaware, unable, or unwilling. And so I definitely feel like it's an awareness piece. Like, of course, you know, everybody's kind of eyes are open, you know what I mean, at this point. But now I do think you get into the ability piece, right? And so I think companies are releasing funds to, you know, specifically go toward, you know what I mean, this cause or this area, you know what I mean, where funds may not have been available to create a new product line or, you know, alter their manufacturing process. Now they're like, oh no, we need to figure out how to free up some funds to do that. You know what I mean? And then of course we always talk about the willingness piece, like who's willing to do it, who's willing to step up, regardless of what their motives is. You know, I mean, we can figure that out on the back end, but we know that there's some individuals in some companies that aren't even willing to do anything. So, you know, whether you got the right motives or you doing it just for self, like, I mean, we can all figure that out, and we probably all have an opinion on that. I will commend you for just, you know, being willing and taking that step and hearing the voices of the people kind of telling you. And so I think that, you know, that's part of the situation. But the other thing is, I think it comes to be, and I don't want to use this term like cool factor, because by no stretch of the imagination is this trending. Cool. Yeah. But yeah, maybe trending. Like
it's almost like peer pressure almost.
Yeah, like peer pressure, or, you know, you weren't, you know, if you would have done this years ago, it'd have been some sort of more backlash. And now it's just more accepting. It's more welcoming. It's almost in a sense, is expected. You know what I mean? It's almost expected. So if you're not doing something, now you're kind of on the other side of the fence. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to try to, you know, evolve and be looking into it, but it's an acceptance piece. I mean, if you take the LGBTQ community, right? Me growing up, my era, our era, and even prior generations, all right, like if you were announced that you were gay, or, you know, you had a different orientation, sexual, like, I mean, you getting same like thing, like people ain't taking too kindly to that. You know what I'm saying? And now, and that was the reason why so many people stayed in a closet, or you know, just wasn't comfortable sharing and expressing their true self. Now it's accepted. Like now it's widely accepted. It's almost promoted. It's expected of you to be who you are and just show your true colors and show your true self and it's celebrated. And so now it's okay. Yeah. And I think that's the same, you know, we're kind of going through that same paradigm shift, if you will, with the black community and culture. Like, okay, now it's okay to not only accept them,
It's okay to be black,
right? And we want to embrace the culture. I mean, for so long they, you know, been in a sense stealing the culture, right? Or using it, you know, and paying peanuts. Now it's okay to widely come out and say, hey, we see it. we embrace it. You know, let's bring it all in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a family.
So what about as a family? See how you do that voice thing? All right, so what about this though? So the people that's like, all right, it's already enough done. You got affirmative action, you got a whole month celebrating that, like Juneteenth now. All right, we taking down statues, we can't use the flag, like, all right, man, what else we gotta do, man? Like, what about that group? What are we gonna do with that group?
The group that's saying,
yeah, all that stuff.
That's against it, or you saying?
Yeah, like, can we move forward now? Like, we've done all this stuff.
What else you want?
How much? I mean, we got millions of dollars now getting released by companies and everything that you just said. So, like, all right, you know, that's enough.
I mean, it's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna be enough. And you know, I despise the person who would even think enough is enough, right? Because I don't care what we talking about, whether it's racism, whether it's just culture in general, like whether it's business. Like we always talking about how to get to that next level. I don't care what level you at. You know what I mean? Whether you in the lowest low or you at the highest of the high. Like we always talking about how do you get to that next level. And so for me, you know, it's never gonna be enough. Like that shouldn't even be the conversation, because if you think that we've done enough in anything, if you think you've arrived and you've done enough and you're the greatest and there's no room for improvement, well, you done messed up. That's what that's your first mistake right there. Yeah. So for those people, I think again, now you gotta go back to a willingness. Okay, those people have reached a level and a plateau. They're not willing to move or do anything else. Well, those are folks that we're gonna have to now push to the side. We appreciate for whatever you done. Or what, you know, if you didn't do anything, well, whatever. We got to move you to the side because you're no longer a part of the equation, and we got to rock with those folks that are still, you know, that are still willing. Yeah. So let me ask you a question like this then. So, because I don't want to contradict myself, but take a Starbucks. All right, and so you know, we kind of understand what happened to Starbucks. Starbucks came out and publicly, you know, addressed their employees. That were supporting the Black Lives, you know, movement and, you know, wearing shirts or whatever. Like they was like, yo, we're not having that. Like, you can't wear no shirts. Like, you know, right. we're not doing that. And that instantly they got a bunch of backlash. And then like the next day they flipped the whole script up.
Man, I think they hit up Columbus Custom Tees and was like, man, can you print some Black Lives Matter t-shirts? Now they said they was gonna buy them t-shirts. Yeah.
So they, you know, not only went from you can't wear it, now we're gonna supply those for you because okay, yeah, we see what's going on. So okay, so is that a group that's willing and just maybe just had it mixed up, or again are they just trying to save face?
You know what that is? That's Drew Brees. It's the exact same thing. It's Drew Brees. And so we saw immediately Drew Brees come out. I don't support anybody. Well, I don't support the.
Okay,
wait a minute. So I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm against the flag. I'm against anybody protesting against the flag. All right, which immediately goes against the whole movement. So he gets a bunch of backlash, specifically from his teammates, black teammates. The very as soon as he could, writes a statement, boom, sends that out. The next day comes out, does a video, sends that out, and then triples down and sends a direct message to President Trump and says, no, it's not about the flag. Starbucks, same thing. Hey, they said, we're not really trying to have that, right? Like, we don't bring it to our business. Like, I don't like that. You could promote on your own, but this particular establishment is not going to do that. Then they get backlash. Then they come back out and say, no, we're going to flip it. And now we all for the movement. Which goes to what we talked about when Drew Brees happened. And I said, what are we going to do as people attempt to get it right? So when they get it wrong and then we let them know they got it wrong and then they flip it and try and do their best to get it right, do we accept them moving forward after they got the information? Now, the question is, did they flip it because it was hurting their business? Did Drew Brees change because immediately he saw how it was affecting his reputation and his legacy, or did he do it because he really supports the movement? Because from the Starbucks level, maybe they're like, well, we got enough customers and we don't know the data. I don't know, but it's the same thing. When someone says the wrong thing or does the wrong thing, and then they do get the backlash and they do change, do you accept them moving forward, or do you judge them, so to speak, based on what they did initially? And that, I believe, is the challenge for, let's just say, black people moving forward. For anybody that's ever said or done anything that maybe was against you, when they change, are you willing to forgive them for what they said and accept them moving forward? That is the challenge.
Well, I ain't drinking no Starbucks. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
There's too many calories right now.
I ain't a big coffee drinker like that. I have been drinking coffee a little bit more, but yeah, I ain't drinking all them grandes or whatever they got in there, man. I was like, man, when I first went to Starbucks, I'm like, they got the Biggie, Tallie, Grande. I'm like, I don't know what they got.
Stuff that
anyway, listen. Okay, so here, I get totally what you're saying, and it makes sense. Like, okay, people make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Okay, they apologize and they want to move forward, and do you accept it? Right? My daughter, every day she's apologizing for something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, move forward. I got a different take on the Drew Brees. Like, I mean, I was a little skeptical of Drew Brees. I just feel like as an individual, okay, emotions come up, rise up, and as an individual, okay, I can kind of get it. Like, just timing, bad timing. Maybe I was off. As a company, especially as big as Starbucks, I'm a little bit more hesitant to be so accepting, because even though individuals run the company and who put out the statement, a company like Starbucks, I'm sure they had some cross checks in there. Mm-hmm. Somebody looked at those statements, or they had some meeting and somebody gave them pushback then. Mm-hmm. So in Drew Brees' case, where he might have just made a statement on his own and put out social media and just wasn't thinking, and he didn't really have nobody to kind of fact checking, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody was like, nah, Mr. President, Starbucks or whoever, or a public relations, like, I don't think we should. And they was like, nah, ego in the way, nah, this is our stance. Mm-hmm. And then come back like, oh, I should have listened. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm a little more hesitant, especially on a bigger company like that, because it's less of, to me, it's less of an awareness, because at some point you was made aware a little bit more than maybe an individual. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let me ask you this. Would you rather a company come out and say, nah, we just not going to support the movement specifically in our stores that way? Or would you rather somebody just not say nothing at all? Because I'm watching specifically for, and I don't remember who posted it, but it made so much sense to me. So then I started paying attention as well. What colleges are saying stuff and not saying stuff. What head coaches are saying things and not saying things. What assistant coaches are saying things and not saying things. From a sports standpoint, if you're a 17, 18-year-old, you get recruited. Like, who's saying things to support the movement? Who's doing things daily, or who just put out the one-time statement like, hey, we're about equality, we moving forward. So do you like the person, like, I don't know, like, I feel like I like a company that tells me where they are so I don't have to guess, versus the person that really don't support, but we just not going to say nothing because it's going to impact our sales, so we not going to say nothing at all. So do you think it's better for the company to come out and say, this is who we are, and then they try and do the whole this is who we are, and they just not with the times, like, that's not going to work no more. Like, you going to have to shift. And they're like, all right. I mean, it's the same thing that we're asking people to do individually. This is who I am. I was raised this way. I don't like black people. I think they're fine. I just don't get along with them. But then, nah, that's not going to work no more. All right, I'm willing to change. Here's the steps to change. And the company's like, we ain't doing that. And they're like, nah, you need to change. Or the people that's just not saying nothing at all.
That's a good question, man. I mean, you got to look at it from different lenses. As a company, it's going to hurt. It'll hurt more if you come out and make a bold, either way, like, you come out and make a bold stance, you're taking much more of a risk than saying nothing. As a consumer and as a customer, that supports these stores or organizations, or, shops with them, like, you might want to have a more direct, feeling and understanding of who they are. I don't know, man. It's 'cause
there's a lot of people that's quiet.
It's a lot of people that's quiet and you don't know.
And is it enough to just put out a blanket statement too? Because that's the trick. If I just come out with a blanket statement and say we're about equality, social justice. You know what I mean? We just want all these, and Black Lives Matter. And it's just a blanket statement, but you don't got to do nothing else. Here, just put out the PR piece and keep it moving. Is that good enough? Because the other play, because that's how you play the game.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. You got. I mean, listen, if I was in that position, depending on what was at stake, right? I mean, I know what I believe in and what I'm standing for, but when you got shareholders, you know what I mean, and like you. Because think about it, you got shareholders you responsible for, and you know they on both sides of the fence. Mm-hmm. So it's tough. Yeah. I think it all goes back to the shirts we wearing. You know what I mean? Silence is not an option. Mm-hmm. So if we just go off of that basis, I think you say where you at with it. And I'm okay with a little generic statement. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm okay with just saying, hey, look, we're not really trying to go all the way into deep waters.
Right.
We want to let you know, hey, we're here.
Right.
But sometimes jumping off in the deep end, head first, right, and you don't really know what's in those waters, right, isn't the best thing, especially from a business standpoint. Right. You know what I mean? That you in control of, from that lens. But I think at this point, man. If you have a platform, which everybody has a platform, every individual, every company, everybody has a platform. This is the time to use your platform. Silence is not an option. And if you support, now, if you don't, right, then you don't. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But if you are in support of what's going on and want to see some change, then you can't be silent.
Yeah. And I think it's something that, we tried to figure out. I mean, that there cannot be fatigue. You can't get tired of doing the right thing. You know what I mean? The right thing is to keep talking, to keep having the conversation, with
Well, you won't get tired.
No, you got to keep talking.
You won't get tired, but you got to keep going.
I got tired when I was running the miles.
Yeah, you got tired, but you kept going.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Fatigue is okay. That's natural. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to get...
There you go. I like it.
We're going to get tired, but you can't quit.
What's going on the shirt? I like it. You're allowed to get a little tired, but you gotta keep going.
Fatigue is natural.
That's good.
But keep going.
I like it. No, that's a good chapter.
Easy. Good money.
So rounding out the full conversation, we were talking about people declaring sides. So Bubba Wallace, who's the only black NASCAR series driver.
Did you fact check that?
Bro, I just read it on ESPN. So. I mean,
fact check.
You know what I mean? I hope they got an office of people that's able to. But the short of it is, at Talladega this past weekend, their racing garage found a noose in kind of his racing stall. And he was extremely outspoken about the Confederate flag being removed from NASCAR, like stadiums, arenas, tracks, and their facilities, because they still, it's just a part of the quote unquote culture there. And so, he got his Black Lives Matter t-shirt. A lot of different racers and drivers support him. But then, they pull up in the garage and it's a noose in there. So now it's a huge investigation. NASCAR's working with them. And NASCAR went ahead and said they were going to do away with the Confederate flag and everything a few weeks ago. And then, LeBron James and the who's who of sports have now kind of rallied around Bubba Wallace for that reasoning. So that happened just recently. And on the outside of the track, it's, mile length cars lined with and driving by with the Confederate flag still. It was a plane that flew over with the little banner attached to it. That said defund NASCAR, that was connected to the Confederate flag. So those things are still going on, which is why, to your point, you may get a little bit tired, and I love the way that you said that, but you got to keep going with the conversation, because there's so much hate and evil embedded into people's hearts that the only way, you may not force it out, but the only way to make sure that they know that it's the wrong thing is to have the opposite side, which is the right thing. So,
I tell you what, if I'm in NASCAR, man, I find a noose. I'm going bumper cars, man. I'm out there ramming everybody off the jump. You know what I'm saying? Taking no name, bumper cars, baby.
I don't know who did it.
I don't know who did it.
Everybody.
Number 19, car 5, car 3. Of course I'm gonna win. I gotta win.
That's crazy. Nah, man, that's unfortunate though.
Yeah,
man.
nah, that's sad. You know what I mean?
Down in Alabama.
That's sad. That's sad. You know, cause I mean, you know, like now for real, like, all right, real talk, like, are you? I mean, now that's, you know, affecting your psyche, like how you competing, like. But even aside from that, just as a person, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm just trying to do what's right, and I know, you know, I'm the only one over here. You know what I mean? I'm saying the only one, but you know what I mean? I'm the minority, literally and figuratively, like in this fight, and now I'm going up against history essentially. Like, you know what I mean? NASCAR, we predominantly, you know, a white sport. You know, I mean, you watch the full have you watched the full NASCAR?
No.
Right? Is it a race? I guess they race, right?
Nah, not a full one.
Right? I mean, like,
not a full one.
It make me dizzy just watching like 200 laps.
I've had it on in the background before, probably on mistake. You know how the races come on after you watching something and the TV's still on? And like, man.
You on all day, lap 50. Like, man, they got 150 more laps.
Nah, I done been in the car with some bros that's done did 100 plus miles an hour, and I felt like I was in a NASCAR thing before, but
hey.
Nah.
So, all right, I actually did went for my birthday like a few years ago. Got in a race car, and you know, went in a race car and went around the track. And it was actually dope. I mean, you know, got in the car, suited up. You know, you got to climb in the junk, strap in. You know what I mean? They give you all the, you know, instructions on how to operate the car. In the car, yeah. I drive in the car by myself. And so I'm in there, and they give you the instructions. I can't remember. It was weird because it was like, you know, you in a far lane, like driving normally, like on the freeway, you in a far left lane, and people pass you. Or, you know, if you go to pass somebody, you pass them on the left. You know what I mean? Well, this was like the opposite, I believe. Like, you know, you pass on the right. So it was just kind of a little different situation. But I'm in there, and I'm, you know, I'm figuring it out, and I'm going around the track. I'm picking up speed. I'm going fast. I'm Hellcat, I'm speed racer. And I get out, adrenaline rushing. I'm like, man, I was flying.
It's 45 miles an hour.
Man, Jasmine was like, you were going so slow. She's like, how fast you think you were going? You were looking like a turtle out there.
So it was other people on the track?
Yeah. Yeah, and I had the headsets because they was telling me, like, now I remember they was like, terrible. passing you on the right, real. I thought I was out there flying, bro.
How fast you get up to?
I don't know, man. I don't remember if I had a speedometer in there. I don't remember really seeing a speedometer. I just remember the adrenaline, like, oh, I'm moving. She was like, man, you were going extremely slow. Like, man, that's selfish.
Man, well, that's how the progress has been so far. Just like you're driving, extremely slow. However,
we moving.
Still moving, baby.
Still moving, man.
Still moving.
Still moving.
It's good. Again, hey, silence is not an option. Tees available. driventees.org. We got the black one. We got the white one. You know, we just all inclusive. We about equality. We got black and the white.
That's it.
But make a difference however you can with whatever platform you have. Check us out again. AlwaysReadyOnline.com. Our Zoom trainings, live trainings every Thursday. Check out the link again, AlwaysReadyOnline.com. Good?
Easy money.
Good.
Bang, bang. All right, we back at it, man. I hope that you're enjoying the podcast. As always, check us out online, alwaysreadyonline.com. Check us out on all our favorite Bruh, what? What are you doing, man? I just see you, my peripheral, dog. You just like, It's like you're trying to laugh and you're trying to hold it. I can see you, bro. I can see you, man.
Why you always start out like that, man?
What do I start out like, man?
All right. I tried to hold it in, man.
You did it twice. First time I was able to bypass it.
I'm trying to figure out why you always come in like growling.
Because that's natural.
We need to start over.
Look, we had 15 minutes.